All right, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on the Purpose for Life team call. Today is January 24th. I wanted to, I'm going to share my screen. I have a couple of slides. This evening, I am going to be talking with you guys about the book that I am reading called The 12-Week Year. I've actually gone through pretty much half of the book at this point in time, and that's pretty much the information that I'm going to share with you this evening. Everything that I have read so far just has resonated with me, and I think it's a great book if you're looking for another personal development book or just looking to get organized with goal setting. So I definitely recommend it. It's called The 12-Week Year, and it is by Brian Moran, Moran, and Michael Lennington. So, okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Dawn, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see that okay? Perfect. Okay. Just a quick announcement. I did want to just remind you guys, next month is Team Cup. Registration is open already. So for those of you guys that do not know what Team Cup is, it is something that Beachbody offers where you can combine a group of 5 people. And it can be you can be a new coach, you can be a veteran coach. The only rule is that there can only be one lifetime diamond on a team. So if you are a diamond or a lifetime diamond, the rest of the individuals on the team have to be below diamond. So again, this is just a great opportunity for you guys to work together, to share strategies when it comes to inviting, maybe run a challenge group together in the month of February. Again, we still have the amazing Beachbody On Demand All Access Pass that is still going to be available through the month of February. And again, we still have the ability to earn 3 Success Club points for each challenge pack. So definitely, if you guys have questions or are interested in wanting to jump on a team, reach out to me and let me know so we can kind of get you added into a group. All right, so let's get started. I am going to just go ahead and share with you just some of my takeaways and highlights from the first kind of section of this book. And really the main focus of this book is, I think a lot of people, when it comes, around to a new year, when we hit January, a lot of people start making resolutions. They like to make yearly goals. And the emphasis on this book is to really make 12-week goals, whereas you're, making, quarterly goals. And the idea is getting more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. And I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about what the author talked about in a couple of the sections that really resonated with me. So first of all, I want to ask you guys a few questions. You don't have to answer them right now, but maybe write them down and think about it. And then, just ask yourself, do some reflection and think about this. So ask yourself, how would your life change if each and every day you performed to your fullest potential? And I am referring to not just the business, but your work life, your relationships with your spouse, your children, and then, of course, your business. How would your life change if each and every day you performed to your full potential? And then ask yourself, what would be different 6 months from now, 3 years, 5 years down the road, if each day you were living at your best? So one of the things that they talked about in the first chapter of this book was that a lot of times people, it's not the lack of knowledge, implementation, or information that holds people back. It's the lack of execution. It's the biggest barrier between you and the life that you are capable of living, is sitting down and finding the balance and the time to execute what you want to do with this business. So I want you to write those questions down and then think about them. Take some time tonight, this week, and think about, what that would look like. And I think I'm glad we're doing this call, because for those of you that have listened to the National Wake Up Call yesterday, Amy Silverman did a great job of really doing a lot of reflection on what your vision and what you would like to see in your future. Not just this moment, not just this instant gratification, but what you want to see for your life. So go ahead and think about that. Take some time and reflect on that. Okay, so again, we're talking about throwing out the annual plan. We're talking about taking out this yearly plan that we have set for ourselves and think about breaking it down into chunks, into 12 weeks, essentially. So a vision without a plan is a pipe dream. I'm sure you guys have heard of that before. It's something that I've heard of, and I think it's so important that when you work from a plan, you have 3 distinct benefits. 1, it reduces mistakes. So you have a plan written down. You know what you're working with. It saves you on time. You have, good time management skills, and it provides you with that focus. I know I've shared this with you guys before, but something that has helped me last year and even this year, every month I create what's called a marketing plan. And I sit down and I look at the beginning of the month and I look at exactly what I want to accomplish. So I say to myself, okay, I know, and for many of us work full time. Many of us have children. Many of us, have family. We have other obligations, not just this business. But it's so important that if we want to see growth in this business, we have to set those hours. We have to set that time and be consistent with it. So for me, I have this, and I will actually take a picture of this and share it with you guys. It's actually color coordinated here. And basically, I can give you kind of just an example of what it looks like. So Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I set at least 3 to 4 hours a night for Beachbody work. Now, some people might say, well, that's too much. I have all of these, I have activities and things like that. Whatever works for you, maybe it's only 1 hour in the evening. That's fine. Whatever works for you, and you can find the time where you are focused and you are executing your activities, that is where you need to say, okay, this is my time. Maybe it's 9 to 10 because my kid is in bed, or, that's the only time that I can work the business. For me, what I was finding was I was so scattered. I was trying to do a lot of my activities at work, and I wasn't, I was just kind of all over the place. I was scatterbrained. So what I've been doing is I will do my job. I will usually in the morning, I get up, I do my workout, I check into my challenge groups, and then I start my day with my full-time job. When I get home, I usually make a quick dinner. If my husband kind of gets home with me, I spend maybe 30, 45 minutes with him, just eating dinner, checking in on our day. And then I get to work. I spend probably 3 hours in the evening doing Beachbody work. Now, what does that look like? Well, for me, it's invites. It's checking in with coaches that need my assistance. It's doing one-on-one calls with coaches that are needing some additional help and accountability. Wednesdays, I have set time out for networking events. So for me, one of the things that I started doing was reaching out to more people in my community. And so I have set Wednesday nights to be a kind of networking. So I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce here in Frederick. So often we have business card exchanges on Wednesdays. Tomorrow night we have a coaching event from 5:30 to 7:30. So I really encourage you to create an action list and to set up those slots of time that feel work for you. Sundays are my day where I really don't do anything with the business other than meal prep. if you want to count that as a business something. I might do a post about meal prep or my personal development, but I don't really do anything because I think it's so important to have that balance and to be able to create that, family time too. And I don't have children yet, so I think it's important to create that balance kind of from the beginning, and being able to tell your coaches that yes, it's important to be consistent with your activities and your behaviors, but it's also important to set those boundaries and to be able to spend time with your family as well. Okay, so blocking your time. So they talk about 3 different types of blocks or blocks of time. The first one is strategic blocks. So this is essentially a 3-hour block of uninterrupted time that is scheduled into each week. This could be 3 hours total, or it could be 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. The idea is that you focus all of your energy on your pre-planned tasks. So I know for me, every day I create a to-do list of my business activities. People I need to follow up with, maybe I'm writing a blog that day. Maybe I am, whatever it is, creating a to-do list every day so I know what I need to do in that block of time that I have set for myself for my business. During this block of time in your strategic blocks, the idea is you have no interruptions. Obviously, life sometimes gets in the way, but maybe this is the time where you chat with your husband or you chat with your kids if they're older, and you say, this is the time where mom is doing her beach body work. And again, if you have a younger child, it might be during nap time. It might be when they're in bed. It's all about finding those activities that work best for you and your schedule. So the idea is you're focusing all of your energy on these tasks. You're concentrating your intellect and creativity to produce breakthrough results. And so this is the idea for the strategic blocks. The second type of block is buffer blocks, is what they call. This is designed to deal with life, all of the unplanned and activities that sometimes happen. You're in your groove, you're in your moment, but then something happens. Your kid gets sick, or something emergent happens where you have to kind of step away from that and know that it's okay, because there's going to be obstacles. So for some of us, 1 30-minute buffer block a day is sufficient, while for others, there might be more time that you need. The power of buffer blocks comes from grouping together activities to be unproductive so that you can increase your efficiency in dealing with them. The final block that they talk about is called breakout blocks. This is what I was talking about, where you're taking your time to block out time away from work, time away from your business. This is time scheduled away so that you can use it to refresh yourself and reinvigorate your mind. The saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Like that is so, like, you are wanting to make sure that you set that time apart where that you can refresh, become creative with your ideas, and hopefully be able to, get ready to restart and regroup when it comes to your business activities. So those are the 3 types of breakout blocks that they talk about. And the importance, again, is to find those blocks of time where you are going to be focused. You're going to deal with activities that come up in your life. And the final one, being able to set time apart from your work and knowing that it's okay. Those messages are going to be there. But remember, the next day, you've set that strategic block of time where you have to be consistent with it. Okay, next thing, creating your ideal week. Okay, so the idea of this is making sure that you are creating routine and consistency in your days. Okay, schedule routine tasks at the same time, same day each week. Okay, consider when you tend to be at your best. Is it in the morning? Are you more of a morning person, or are you more of an evening person? I know for me that, for example, my workouts, I need to do them in the morning. If I don't, for whatever reason, I sleep in and I miss them, I tend to struggle in getting it done in the evening, in the afternoon. And that is, I feel off. I feel imbalanced. And so finding the times that work best for you and sticking to it. If you follow top coach Melanie Mitro, she is consistently, after 5 years, after being so successful in this business, she continues to get up at 5:30. I think it might be 6 now, but it used to be 5:30 to work out consistently. She never misses a day. And it just shows, being the proof that the product works, even after being successful for so many years, she continues to show people that she is real, she is raw, and she continues to show that she is on this journey with everybody else. So scheduling your most important activities during your prime time and finding out when that prime time is. Maybe it is in the morning. Maybe you are most sharpest in the morning and you feel like you can get a lot more done in the morning. So maybe that's when you set your power hour in, or you take that time to schedule with your challengers and your challenge groups. Just finding that time that works for you and being efficient and critical with that time. Okay. I have a few more slides. So the next thing that really I took away in one of these chapters was about commitments. And I think in this business, having a commitment is so, you are hopefully committed to this business. You want to be successful. You see the value in what it's done for you personally, but you also want to pay it forward. So I shared this quote. This is from the Miracle Morning. If you haven't read it, it's by Hal Elrod. Discipline creates lifestyle. I think it pretty much, says for itself, discipline creates lifestyle. The more disciplined you are, the more it is going to create a lifestyle for you. It's going to be a habit. You are going to be continuing to do those commitments each and every day. So he talks about 4 key important successful commitments that you have to make for yourself in order to be successful. First and foremost, is having that strong desire. So in order to fully commit to something, you need to have a clear and personal, compelling reason. Without a strong desire, you will struggle with when things get difficult. But with a compelling desire, obstacles are seen as challenges that you can meet and overcome. The desired end result needs to be meaningful enough to get you through the hard times and keep you on track. So if you haven't found that strong desire yet, or if you haven't found what we call our why, that is something I also encourage you to do, simply because that is what's going to keep you pushing forward when you hit that wall or when you hit those objections. The second thing he talks about is having keystone actions. So once you have that desire to want to do this and to continue to be disciplined in your commitments, once you have that desire, you then need to identify those core actions that are going to produce you those results. So again, what is it each and every day that you need to do in order to be successful? Okay. I know for me, my daily to-dos always are invites. They are reaching out to my follow-ups that I have, conversations that I've had the past day, the past week, posting on social media, sharing my journey. Another thing that I have been working on more this month is blogging. I have been doing a little bit more of sharing my story, but also sharing just kind of what's happening in my life. I recently did a blog on getting out of your comfort zone and finding ways to, overcome and not staying stagnant and getting over that fear. So finding ways that maybe you can relate to other people. Maybe it's through blogging, maybe it's through, different outlets of social media. And then of course, just figuring out what those keystone actions and daily to-dos are going to be for your business to be successful. We must remember that it's what we do that counts, and those activities help us accomplish our bigger goal. Okay, number 3, count the cost. So commitments, just like any, require sacrifice. So when we have a commitment, or when we make a commitment to something or someone, that sometimes means that there are going to be benefits and costs that, may get in the way. Too often, I know for me, and I've seen this in other people, we claim to commit to something without considering the cost it might have to other people. But it's important to identify the cost before you commit, and it allows you to consciously choose whether you are willing to pay the price for your commitment. So this could be, I'm going to commit to going to Summit. I'm going to commit to our annual conference that we have every year. This year it's in New Orleans. So I'm going to commit to that because I know it's going to benefit my business. I know I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to gain lots of knowledge from it. But I know that means I might have to take off work. It might mean that I have to, leave my spouse, my child. But you have to sit down and think about the cost of what it's going to be, and ultimately say that this is going to push me forward, and I'm going to benefit from my business by doing so. The last commitment is acting on commitments, not feelings. So there are going to be times that you don't want to do these things. There are going to be times where you don't want to work out. There are going to be times where you don't want to do your power hour. But that is where you have to say to yourself that it's doing these things that you will need to learn to act on your commitments instead of your feelings. If you don't, you will never build any momentum, and you will get stuck continually restarting or giving up. So that is just something to remember, these commitments. So, strong desire. What are the actions that I need to do to be committed? What are the costs that I need that might interfere when I'm making these commitments? And then acting on those commitments and saying to myself, yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm not motivated to get out of this bed, but I need to work out because people are depending on me. And it's so important to remember that, because that momentum is going to get you further. Okay, so I think I have one more slide. Yes, and this is actually just a exercise that again, you don't have to do it right now, but something for you guys to think about when it comes to balance. We talk about how life can be hard to balance a lot of things. We have all these different areas in our life, and it's sometimes really hard to balance all of these activities. So one of the things that they had us do is these are the areas that I want you to rate yourself on: spiritual, spouse, well, I guess it would be spouse, partner, family, community, physical, personal, and business. So write these down, and I want you to rate 1 to 10 to rate your level of satisfaction, meaning, do you feel like you are balanced in these areas of your life? A score of 10 is the best that you can be in that area. So if you feel that, family-wise, I'm a 10, I'm balanced here, I have time, energy, personal, maybe I'm, a 7, 8. But each of these areas, whether to figuring out where you rate, is either a source of energy or it's draining. So that's where you have to figure out where you need to find more balance. Maybe it's certain things that you need to get rid of. It could simply be activities in your life that aren't providing you, it's just essentially a waste of time. It's not providing you momentum forward in your business. So I encourage you to kind of rate yourself on where you're at and how you can improve in these areas. If you want to chat more about it and kind of, we can kind of do it together and kind of see where, these areas you need to improve, or you feel that you have kind of a great balance on, I'd love to chat with you more. I actually have sat down and I've started this, but I haven't completed it. So I have some homework to do as well. So this is actually the few slides that I've gone over is just part 1 of this book. There is still a whole nother 60 pages I still have not gone through. And I really just highlighted a couple of key areas that I found super helpful in this book that I could relate to our business, and hopefully, you guys could find value in. So if you have questions, let me know. I'd love to chat with you more. Again, if you want to get this book, I just ordered it off Amazon. Again, it's called The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. So again, just a great book when it comes to goal setting and rather focusing on yearly goals, but actually breaking it down into quarters. So do you guys, those of you that are on, do you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, anything that really didn't make sense or anything that you found helpful? Feel free to unmute yourself if you do.
No, that was great, Caitlin. Thank you so much. I think that's definitely going to be a book that I'm going to put on my list to read. I was just a little confused on the last slide that you have on intentional balance. So you said to rate the level of satisfaction, but you said that there may be also areas that you may find that are more draining. So how did they
so basically so let's say maybe there's an area that you don't feel satisfactory. Maybe you have somebody in your life, personal, that is bringing you down or is causing more negativity in your life than need be. And so that would be an area where you need to maybe reevaluate that relationship or look into how can I improve this relationship or how can I eliminate it altogether. I know for me, a lot of times when I began this journey, there were a lot of relationships where I had to remove that person just kind of from my everyday communication because it just wasn't providing me any value. And it could be something at work. It could be something that maybe a person or maybe something there that is not allowing you to have balance and not allowing you to have that satisfaction in that area of your life. So it's just kind of finding what that is. It might take some time. I know for me, it's easier said than done. Like, wow, I have to eliminate this relationship, but this is somebody I've known, my entire life or whatever. But it's super helpful when you find areas where you are struggling to say to yourself, okay, well, where can I improve and how can I improve in this area? What do I need to do to make that happen? So that's a good question. Thank you. Pamela, did you have any questions?
No, not right now, but thank you very much. I enjoyed it and I took some notes.
Good. I'm glad you were able to jump on. Did you see that I shared your transformation today?
Yes, thank you. It was very sweet.
Amazing. Yes. Kristen is so great to work with. I'm so glad that you found her and are really benefiting from the support and accountability.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she is. Well, good. Well, thank you guys for jumping on. I did record it, so I will go ahead and once it's processed, I will post it in our team page, and then I'll also post it on YouTube as well. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great rest of your evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Bye.